Good Sunday morning from the Remember the Children office. It's good to be with you again and to give you an update on what's happening with Remember the Children. Over the last week, it's been my joy and privilege to contact our team members via the telephone and just to check in to make sure that everybody's okay. So we've been on the phone with Romania, we've been on the phone with Tanzania, and it's been so encouraging to hear one another's voices and just to share with what's happening in each other's lives. As I talked to my colleagues in Romania, I had the opportunity to talk with Adi Gallagher this last week, and one of the things that he shared with me was that he had the privilege to do a funeral. But he said what was unique about this funeral is that only 8 people could attend it. So he said it was a very quiet funeral, it was a very somber funeral, and it was just a time where he began to realize how much he appreciated the opportunity for people to gather at times like these, when we suffer losses. And so just going through that experience just made him a little bit heartsick for what was taking place in the lives of those families and what is taking place in the lives of so many families right now. But one thing that I'm so happy about is that we had one of our ministry partners there in a family's time of need to help them journey through one of the darkest times of their lives. I talked with Mihai Mikula at House of Hope, and he goes, Andy, you know what it's like to try to keep control of 24 kids in a house? And you know what? I don't. But he and Dana are those crazy, lovable human beings that have taken in these kids and that are giving them so much love and encouragement and raising them into being wonderful Christian young people. But what is taking place in Romania is taking place also in America as the schools have closed. So all 24 of those kids are huddled in the house. They're having to do their lessons via computer. And unfortunately, we don't have very many computers for the kids to utilize the time with their teachers. So if you can imagine 24 kids trying to engage their teachers, it's been very difficult. So Mihai just kind of asked if there was any way that we could send extra funding just to get a few more computers that they could put around the kitchen table for the kids to be able to engage in their lessons with their teachers so that they'll be able to keep up with their schoolwork. That would be a huge blessing. So that's one of the needs that we have right now to address the needs for our orphan children. I talked with Teo Bonaciu. Teo Bonaciu manages the property that we rent in Romania, and he was just talking about economically what is happening, especially to him and his family, and what he's seeing in the lives of other families as they go through this difficult time. It's not much different than what we are experiencing here in America. And he says everybody is really having to look at what they have and how they can cut back and how they can begin to do life differently. And that's one thing that we're trying to do here at Remember the Children. We are not spending anything unless we absolutely have to. But we want you to know that those donations that you are sending in that are going for ministry expenses, that are going to help the lives of the people we serve, that are going to help the lives of the children, those are moving forward. And even the extra gifts that we've received over the last week, thank you, because those went out yesterday to help with the expenses that we are incurring. I did get the opportunity to speak with Justine Nyabaga, who leads our ministry in Tanzania, and he was so surprised. He had to ask me 3 times, Andy, is that really you? When he heard my voice over the phone. And it was just so wonderful to hear his enthusiasm and excitement and just to have the opportunity to engage each other and to encourage one another with what is taking place in our lives. Everything's going well in Tanzania. The only shift that has happened is the kids have been asked to stay home from school. And so the kids are in their homes. They're being taught daily by the parents, and they're keeping up with their lessons that way. But life in Tanzania continues to be the same. They continue to go to the market. They continue to go to their jobs. Because in Tabora, where we are located, no coronavirus infections have yet arrived. But they are preparing for the day when it possibly does come. So they will not be caught off guard. They are well aware of what is happening in the world. But lastly, I want to leave you with one little bit of encouragement, and that is the overarching theme that came from me from everybody that I spoke to this week. There was one thing that we all agreed upon that we all could be doing during this time, and it was this. All of them said, please pray for me. And then before I could even ask for that in return, they would say, we are praying for you. And I know I talked about this last week, but again, it is the one thing that we can hold on to, and that is the freedom that we have in the midst of anything to communicate with a God who loves us, cares about us, knows what we are journeying through, and we can draw strength from that gift that he has left us. Because when the disciples saw Jesus practicing this, they in turn saw that that was something that he benefited from. Sorry, I got tongue twisted. That they wanted for their lives as well. So they asked Jesus to teach them how to pray. And he did. And it is a prayer that the church has been praying for centuries. Our Father, who art in heaven. We all know it. We all pray it. And that prayer provides for everything that we could need in our lives. So friends, I know this time continues to be discouraging, but one thing that we can continue to do is to pray for one another, and you can continue to pray for the ministry of Remember the Children, because that's what I loved about all of our ministry leaders. That's all they asked for. They asked for prayer. Will you join us in doing so? God bless you.